They say Abba. Wait, hold up. Please not stop to the morning side. Please not stop to the morning. Please not stop to the morning. Oh, no. Wait, I know you go my way. It's a feast day, oh my. It's a feast day, oh no.
Feast day sings, man, I feel blessed. So, man, I boogie with a flock, I know they feel stressed. Good wine, good vibes, and everything blessed. When I pray to the Lord that I sin less. Feast day sings, man, I feel blessed. When I boogie with a flock, I know they feel stressed. Good wine, good vibes, and everything blessed. When I pray to the Lord that I sin less.
Just a stop. Everybody on a dance on a bronze. Me a drink, but me nah get a drunk. Praise the Lord for the things when done. Son I come, but me nah go me yard. Every feast I have to sing a new song. We party hard all night long. We celebrate till the kingdom come.
Wait, hold up. Please not stop to the morning side. Please not stop to the morning. Please not stop to the morning. Oh no. Wait, I know you feel my way. It's a feast day, oh my. It's a feast day, oh no.
Só deu o Senhor que nos deu dias de festa. Em Abril o passou para o início dos meses. Começa na lua nova quando a lua está bem cheia. Durante 7 dias se fermenta o pão. Carneiro temperado com sal, grelhado a carvão. Os restos são queimados. Depois de 50 dias temos o Pentecoste. A colha das frutas. Já temos muito mais digo noutra hora.
Don't stop till the morning come. Wanna stay at home, you're a boring one. Why make it merry, so I'm boring one. Hear the sweet melody, it's a gorgeous one. Please don't stop till the morning come. Wanna stay at home, you're a boring one. Why make it merry, so I'm boring one. Hear the sweet melody, it's a gorgeous one. Man, I drink strong on a feast day. Could have been a weekend or a weekday. Something certain, so everything prepaid. Big tune get wheeled by the DJ. Big tune get wheeled by the. Them say they bad, but we better. Them a informer, them a eavesdropper. Man, a son of God with a retapper. Wait, hold up. Please not stop to the morning side. Please not stop to the morning. Please not stop to the morning. Oh no. Wait, I know you feel my way. It's a feast day, oh my. It's a feast day, oh my. Came a long way. Came a long way. We dep on road. Back out the scripture and bro, let's go. We dep on. KJB ever be my only weapon. Yeah. For number 12. Enjoy and travel. I am a guy not to get at you. We dep on them. Voila. See the heathen there. Them a talk bosh, but they not your friend. Them a thief. Them a lie. I pray to the Most High, they drop down there. Came a long way up on the street corner. Now I roll around with you. Pull up on you. We pull up the pallet, we bring out the truth. The word from council, we bring out the truth. Ephesians 5:26 at school. Conforming your mind, conforming your soul. Jeremiah 1:5, let's go. Prophets are back and the prophets are old. With the heart of David, yeah, let's go. Romans 50, the first, the time of the old. Small and gold. Righteous brick in the righteous stool. In the righteous trap with the prophets, ooh. Book is the rock, pull up on you, pull up on us. Christ to the rock, pull up in the spot, pull up on ooh. I don't know about you. Pull up and keep the commandments. Life is showing, we keep on skanking.
Yeah. Keep enduring, man. It's real out here. Feel me? Keep going, keep your head up, man. For real. You know what I'm saying? Now watch the negativity. Now watch it. It's alright.
We dep on road. Back out the scripture and bro, let's go. We dep on. KJB ever be my only weapon. Yeah. For number 12. Enjoy and travel. I am a guy.
Yo. All over the world, we about to go. Truth is coming out, that's what you need to know. Blacks and Hispanics is the Israelites, you need to know. You ain't never gonna hear this from a pastor, though. You done ended in the den with some lions. You done ended in the den with some lions. You done ended in the den with some lions. Think you coming in here with your sin, don't even try me on the mission. Telling Israel to repent before you come in. Every city on the corner in your hood is where you finding us. Casting out imaginations, Christians might not like it, but we raising up our army exceedingly, we are rising up. We all about the mission, we living until the kingdom comes. Destroyed for lack of knowledge, so that's what we here to give up. Listen for the people, cause although we have no equal, we out here living so evil and comfortable living feeble. Yeah. All over the world, we about to go. Truth is coming out, that's what you need to know. Blacks and Hispanics is the Israelites, you need to know. You ain't never gonna hear this from a pastor, though. You done ended in the den with some lions. You done ended in the den with some lions. You done ended in the den with some lions. Think you coming in here with your sin, don't need to try.
All right.
7 o'clock heat.
7 o'clock Sunday afternoon, a Sunday night, Sunday evening, whatever you want to call it.
Set it off Sunday.
Yes, sir. So all praise. We back in the Lion's Den. We got a short episode today, unfortunately. So Deacon Malachi will be coming on at 8 o'clock with the fire for the Day of Simon.
Day of Simon.
But before that, we got to deal with some issues. The world is in an uproar right now.
Yes, it is.
Because black women can't murder their babies.
Oh, man. Damn.
So now the whole world is out of whack. Right. It's just like, I just wonder, these women, that have children, multiple children, those that have murdered multiple children through abortion, like, how do you sit there? It's all right. Like, you're screaming to kill somebody.
Right. You have any remorse.
No remorse at all.
Desensitized to death.
Right. That's what it is. And also, what else it is give me Jeremiah 31:22. Let's start there. Because before we get into the content, all this content leads right back to this scripture. Yeah. Because you're gonna hear women's rights, constitutional rights. No. You won't find women's rights in the Bible. Right. The woman's rights is to listen to her husband.
Obey.
Or listen to her father. That's right. It. Yeah. But there's always a hedge for the woman. That's how you know this place is out of whack. Read that.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 22.
Uh-huh.
How long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter?
Mm-hmm.
For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth.
Hold on, what did it say?
For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth.
The Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. You got women vice presidents. Right. You got transsexual women. What? You got abortion rights.
Hold up.
You got all these different things. This stuff. This is new upon the earth. That what?
A woman.
That what?
A woman.
A woman. Read.
Shall compass a man.
A woman shall compass a man.
That's oppression right there, man. That's one of the curses.
There you go.
The Most High putting us through because we've been disobedient.
There you go. Now the woman rules over the man. Right. And like you say, I'm glad you said that. Because the white woman ain't ruling over her man. No. The Chinese woman ain't ruling over her man. Right. The Arab, you read in Afghanistan, they can't even walk outside unless they face covered. Right. They ain't ruling over their man.
Nope. Ain't playing them games.
Not at all.
That's why it says there's a new thing on the earth for who? The Israelites.
Definitely. Even when Eve did her sin, she still wasn't over Adam.
There you go. Right.
That's why Miriam got the leprosy, because like, what? Yep. Women do not talk. Women is not over. Also, I say, y'all so wicked, I'm going to do this to y'all too.
Yep. The woman now is over the men. That's why you go to Isaiah 3:12. Same thing. So let's get into it. Let's play this first video, see what got the whole world upside down right now.
Saves lives! Abortion saves lives!
Pause.
Yo, this world is crazy. How does abortion save lives?
That makes no sense, Cat.
That don't make no sense at all.
Oxymoron.
Right.
That's an oxymoron if I ain't never heard one.
What?
Abortion saves lives.
I got to kill you so a life could be safe.
Right.
Whose life?
Press play.
Both sides have come to make a stand at the foot of the US Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, whose very purpose is to protect their rights and uphold the Constitution, yet which now stands accused of stripping those rights away. America has woken up to a new reality today, where a woman's ability to have an abortion in place for the past 50 years is set to no longer be...
Pause. You notice she said, for the last 50 years, like that was long as sudden.
Hell no.
We done been on this earth a long time. I don't know if she know, it's 2022. The last 50 years, women could abort their babies.
Right.
Things are going haywire. The world has lost all its consciousness.
Oh, man.
Hey, and also, give me frame mischief by law. Because they said they losing their constitutional rights. This lets you know the Constitution, America, all of this, none of this ain't got nothing to do with the Bible.
No.
Nothing at all to do with the scriptures.
Try to say judicial laws.
Yep. Hey, and you know what else I wanted to say? Because they saying abortion saves lives. Because some women do die through complications when they have babies. When black woman, my wife, we just had our 5th child, and before she had the baby, they come in there, they try to scare the hell out you. Like, yeah, you're gonna have this and this problem and this problem. I was like, yep, whatever. Yep, She fine.
I think it's a Florida thing.
Yeah.
My first daughter, wife was pregnant. She came down here to visit. They was like, oh, you might as well get rid of it because the child's never gonna be born.
There you go.
Damn near 20 years later.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong.
Nothing.
Yeah, they try to scare y'all. And then I wonder, we'll look up that statistic, how many abortions happen that late because they get in there and try to scare them to have a baby.
Yep.
You got the scripture?
Yes, sir. The book of Psalms, chapter 94, verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee?
Shall what?
Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee?
So shall the throne of iniquity, which is America. This is why we ain't on America's side.
Right.
We ain't on Black Lives Matter side.
Nope.
We ain't on for abortion, pro-abortion. We on God's side.
That's right.
Read that again.
Shall the throne of iniquity
have
fellowship with thee?
Have fellowship with thee. Read.
Which frameth mischief.
Because this is what America does. It does what?
Which frameth mischief.
Read.
By a law.
You see that? It what?
Which frameth mischief.
It frames mischief. Read.
By a law.
By a law. So what does it do to make these women feel better about what they're doing? Oh, it's legal. Roe versus Wade. Women have rights to control your body. It's your body. No, that's not in the scriptures.
The hell is this?
That's not in the Bible. It says, like y'all was just saying, Miriam said, your father should have spit in your face.
Right. That's right.
Because you disrespectful. The woman can't send up a prayer to God unless the father say it's okay or the husband says it's okay.
Right.
But now you think that power of bringing life on the earth belongs to the woman?
Hey, Cat. What's funny is I never knew what this was about, right?
Right.
So I actually read up on the law. They don't even know what it's about.
Yeah.
It's a pseudonym, the whole Roe versus Wade.
Right.
Long story short, an Edomite couple, they wanted the right to kill their babies because the wife got like mental illness. They saying she can never raise a child. They want to use contraceptives.
Mm-hmm.
They was suing the state of Texas back in like 1950s and was losing.
Right.
They found a whore Edomite woman that was on her 3rd child that never aborted none to use as the face of it, and then use the pseudonym Jane Roe. It ain't got nothing to do with no rape or none of that stuff.
Dang.
They just wanted to pass the law.
Right.
Yeah.
That same Edomite woman, she lied and said she got gang raped by 5 black dudes to try to get the state of Texas to abort the last baby.
Dang.
Then she turned around and said she don't believe in abortions.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sound about right. Press play.
A constitutional right and taken away by the very institution that enshrined those rights in the first place.
And I just pray for those in our nation who've chosen abortion, Lord God.
Getting rid of Roe has been the ambition of conservative America for decades, and today it looks like they finally got their way.
So we oppose abortion because it kills We're all coming together to say that human rights should belong to all human beings, born or unborn.
What about the rights of women who want to choose to do with their body what they want to do?
Committing violence against a human being.
Is that how you see it?
Yes, abortion objectively.
That's how you see it?
Hey, y'all know what's crazy? They say the woman should have rights to her body. Listen, tell her, I ain't seen a woman yet walk and magically get pregnant. I ain't seen it happen. When I don't touch my wife, she don't get pregnant.
Don't happen.
It don't happen. Yazelle, you ain't had a child in a while, so your wife ain't had a baby, right?
Nah.
And the thing, it's been about 2 years. She might be pregnant now, but before that,
you pregnant.
if the woman don't have a penis inside of her,
doesn't happen, Cap.
she won't need abortion.
Right.
It's that simple.
Exactly.
So is anybody going to talk about that side of the story?
Nope.
This place is a place of lawlessness.
Right.
You want to have all the fun you want, and you don't want none of the consequences.
Right.
That's why this place got to go. Go ahead, press. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, you know the crazy part is you got the LGBT community telling the sisters that's, or the women that's for abortion, that they killing babies, but ain't on their side, they stopping life as well.
They stopping life as well.
They don't make no sense at all, man. This place is confusing.
This is the land of confusion. This is Babylon. Read. Press play, I mean.
Is violence against a human being.
When Roe is no longer protected, that doesn't mean abortion is going to stop happening. It means safe abortions will stop happening. And we all know the cost of that.
Good evening. In a landmark ruling, the Supreme Court today legalized abortions.
A woman's right to choose was enshrined in a historic ruling, Roe versus Wade, nearly 50 years ago.
I am pro-life, and I will be appointing pro-life judges.
As a candidate, Donald Trump promised to nominate conservative judges. As president, he did exactly that, giving the court a conservative majority. And last year, they agreed to hear a case that sought to ban the proceeding.
They try to say pro-life and pro-choice.
Right.
It's pro-life and pro-death. It ain't pro-choice.
There you go.
That's crazy, man.
Go ahead, press play.
After 15 weeks. They were expected to uphold that ban, but in a draft version of its decision leaked last night, the justices have gone much further. The Constitution, it said, makes no reference to abortion, and no such right is implicitly protected by any constitutional provision.
That's the ignorance of America. It makes no explicit reference to abortion in the Constitution at all. The first Constitution, what's the first? I don't know. I don't forgot all the amendments, but I know one of them is the Bare Rights. I don't never say the Bare Abortion. I never read that one growing up when I had to learn the amendments. Go ahead.
As a result, Roe, the draft said, must be overruled.
If they're going to be so literal in their translation, be prepared, because this culture war is going to take us beyond abortion. It's going to take us into family planning, the rights of those who are LGBTQ.
Pause.
And certainly.
So now to scare everybody, they're saying, hey, now if you get rid of abortion, then you can't be a homosexual. You can't marry the other races. Right. So what they saying is, hey, if they stop here, they gonna stop all our sin that we doing. Y'all got to understand what we doing here.
What's going on here?
Right. America is gonna actually do what the Bible tells us to do.
Hell no.
And that ain't what they want. That's why they like, man, they can't do this. Go ahead.
Gay marriage are all at stake in this culture war that the Supreme Court is pushing on the American people now.
My body, my choice! My body, my choice!
The court's final decision is expected in July, but if this draft remains unchanged, American states will be allowed to ban abortion, raising the prospect that women in 2022 will have fewer rights than their mothers.
Now, the name of the show is Kill Them Before They Grow. Now, I wanted y'all to see who was all out there protesting. It was predominantly white women, white women and white men. That's who you'll see out there in the streets yelling and screaming and all that. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, all of this is set up to destroy black people.
Right.
We're going to show you. Watch. Go ahead, press play.
The Supreme Court story, the leak there. Carrie Severino joins me now. She worked as a clerk for Justice Thomas. Carrie, welcome back to the show. I want to ask about other rights which might be in question, like interracial marriage, gay marriage.
So this is how they try to play the game.
Right.
to get people against abortion, now they say, okay, well, look, if they do this, then they're going to do this, then they're going to do this, then they're going to do that. They trying to get, is that mine? Okay. They trying to get other sins, which we know when we read is these are sins. Interracial marriage is against the Bible.
Right.
Gay marriage is against the Bible. But it's showing you within the laws that are set up in America, they are contrary to what God has set up. And this is what we're trying to get y'all to see in these last days. America is not the resting place.
Right.
This ain't the place flowing with milk and honey. This ain't where God gonna come and set up his kingdom and he gonna take over the White House and invite everybody in.
Hell no.
That ain't what's happening. What you see on every movie, which is America and the White House being blown up, that's what's going to happen.
Yep.
Because they know that this place ain't in line with the Bible. Give me Revelations 18:4 real quick.
Bring it out.
I'm gonna show you what they know about America.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people.
Come what?
Come out of her, my people.
This is one of the few places on the earth legal to get abortion, legal to marry outside your race, legal to become another gender, it's legal to kill a baby.
Right.
You literally can kill a baby. I remember Bishop Kanai posted pictures of babies like 20, 30 weeks. Yeah. They look like they full-grown babies.
Yeah, man.
Murdered.
They saying my body, my choice, but you know, once you get pregnant, it's not just your body anymore.
There you go.
It's two bodies
There you
now.
go.
Exactly.
There you go. Go ahead, read.
It says that ye be not partakers of her sins.
That what?
That ye be not partakers of her sins.
Because guess who's participating in this more than any other race? The blacks and Hispanics.
Right.
Read.
And that ye receive not of her plagues.
And what?
And that ye receive not of her plagues.
Because this place is going to pay for its unjust laws.
Right.
It's going to pay for pushing an agenda that's supposed to be Christian.
Right.
But back at the ranch, Margaret Sanger and all the rest of them, they ain't Christians. Right. These dudes and these women are diehard Satanists.
Right.
To the core. There's a reason why there's a pyramid on your dollar bill. There's an all-seeing eye on your dollar bill. There's an eagle set up. All of all this stuff goes back to Satanists at its highest levels.
Right.
And this place is gonna pay for it. Was that it on that? Verse 4?
Verse 5 too, Cap.
Read.
Verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven.
For what?
For her sins have reached unto heaven.
Her sins have reached unto heaven. That's why you see in them chariots. They don't did 1 million shows on the chariots.
Right.
That's why they coming down here. They like, damn, what the hell? These dudes, y'all sins is up here, man.
Right.
They polluting the earth up there. The angels like, damn, what is that smell? That's America? God, dog.
Let it burn.
Read.
And God hath remembered her iniquities.
And what?
And God hath remembered her iniquities.
God have remembered the 19 million babies that have been murdered since the 70s.
Right.
19 million black babies have been aborted because the white man, really the white woman, said it was okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, press play on that.
For example, are other rights in question?
You know, it's interesting to see the level of fear-mongering going on about this. I think there's a few reasons. One is that they simply don't want to talk about the actual arguments for abortion being in the Constitution because there's no real argument there. But it's also interesting because Justice Alito's draft went out of its way to clarify that this opinion is not going to affect some of those rights. And some of the allegations are just preposterous in their face. The idea that, imagine, you're telling me that there's a state out there who's going to want to ban interracial marriage, and then the Supreme Court composed, with the majority presumably including Justice Thomas, who himself is in an interracial marriage. And
you see that? I don't know if y'all caught that or not. They saying, why would they ban it when the black Supreme Court Justice, Clarence Thomas, and the black Supreme Court Justice, what's the woman that just got put in? Ketanji Jackson, interracial marriage. Why would they vote against it? Because they ain't. They ain't gonna vote against it. But it's showing you that what? The only way you move up in the society, they want to see that you all in. Yeah. Because they know once you're in that lifestyle, you ain't gonna go against it. That's why they give you the whole world if you go into sin. Give me that in Hebrews about Moses. The pleasures for the pleasures of sin for a season. Exactly what you just said. All this stuff only gonna last for a time, y'all. interracial marriage, homosexuals, transsexuals. Y'all think this stuff gonna last forever? No. Every kingdom comes to an end. Right. There's a reason why we learn the big seven when we talk about captivities. Because guess what? The kingdom will be translated to another place.
That's right.
Fortunately, this time, guess what? We got next. Right. The black man with the black hand is coming down. And he ain't handed up the kingdom again. It's going to be with the saints forever. That's right. Read that.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 24.
By
faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter.
Read.
Choosing rather to suffer affliction.
Choosing rather what?
To suffer affliction.
That's what a lot of us are going through here in America. A lot of us are in situations where we got to choose not to do certain things because we understand what the law states.
With the
hold on. We understand God says, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do it. And we suffer for that. Read.
Choosing rather to suffer affliction.
Choosing what?
Rather to suffer affliction.
We rather suffer affliction, read.
With the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season.
For a what?
For a season.
That's what y'all don't understand. America, what it say, 50 years abortion been, this stuff is for a season.
Right.
This is a small time. America been around, I think, like 240, 250 years it's been ruling. That's a small time. Right. Assyria, guess what? The Assyrians thought they was going to rule forever. The Babylonians thought they was going to rule forever. Right. The Egyptians thought they was going to rule forever. The Romans thought they was going to rule forever. The Grecians thought they was going to rule. So this ain't nothing new if you read your Bible. Right. If you know anything about history, dynasties come and dynasties go. So this place is bound to fall. That's why it says your pride has lifted you up. Because you got nuclear missiles. You think, oh, no, this place here going to last forever. Right. We got a nuclear missile. We can go to space and back. Rome couldn't do that. Right. Egypt couldn't do that. All right. The Most High got something for that. Don't worry.
Hey.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we get Matthew 16, verse 25? Because this goes back into what they was talking about in the beginning. They say abortion destroys lives, right?
Right.
Read that. Matthew 16, verse 25. I got you.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 16 and verse 25. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it.
So the problem is, yes, sir, they want to save their lives. I mean, they want to save the lifestyle that they're living in because, like we said earlier, America, it flourishes on sin. Abortion, getting drunk, getting high, whatever it may be, right? Go ahead, read on.
And whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it.
Right, but Christ said we got to lose our life. And he says that we will find it. That's the eternal life. If we give up the lifestyle that we live in these days, right? If we put away sin and keep the commandments, and this is a message to our sisters, the black and Hispanic women, Christ said is that we're going to find our life. Meaning what? We're going to have that eternal life when he returns. So that just goes back into what Kat was talking about. When Christ returns, we got to be keeping these commandments before that time period. All right?
That's you go. There you go. But they ain't trying to lose their life for nothing. Nah. They killed 2 babies, 3 babies, 4 babies, 5. They got hella bodies on them. Yep. All of them need to be locked up and on the Somebody need to be putting them to death. All the murders they don't have. Right. Shoot. Go ahead. Press play.
Bodies.
And Justice Barrett, who herself has multiracial children, is going to say, actually, Loving versus Virginia was wrongly decided. There is a lot of very clear reasons why Loving was correctly decided, and it doesn't rest on the same basis as this thing. So it's that kind of thing. I'm hearing, the president saying LGBT kids would be segregated in different schools. That's nuts. That has nothing to do with this case, and it's not something practically that I think is anyone's talking about doing in the first place. It's fear-mongering.
So I wanted y'all to see. That's one way they're trying to play it so people don't fall for it. They're like, hey, if you do that, then they're going to take away our rights to guns. Yeah, then they're going to say we can't do that. No, that ain't what's going on. That's just like you try to say one thing to somebody and then they, oh, well, what about it? No, we ain't talking about that.
That's propaganda.
All we talking about is abortion. Yeah. That's all we talking about. All right, go ahead. Press play. Next video.
Down again. This time over a fight to stop public funding for a group called Planned Parenthood. You've heard the barbs.
Planned Parenthood is aborting fetuses alive to harvest their brains and other body parts. That is a fact.
When they attack women's health, they attack America's health, and it's wrong, and we're not going to let them get away with it.
But let's take a step back. Where did Planned Parenthood come from? The year was 1914. The world was about to devolve into its first eponymous war, one. Babe Ruth made his major league debut as a pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. And a 34-year-old nurse named Margaret Sanger coined the term birth control. In March of that year, Sanger began publishing a feminist monthly called The Woman Rebel. She advocated for the right of every woman to be the absolute mistress of her own body. By August, she was indicted for breaking obscenity laws. Publishing anything to do with sex was illegal. She fled the country. The next year, she returned, but the charges against her were dropped. In 1916, Sanger opened the country's first birth control clinic in Brooklyn. She posted handbills around the neighborhood in English, Italian, and Yiddish. Mothers, she wrote, can you afford to have a large family? Do you want any more children? If not, why do you have them? 10 days later, the police shut down the clinic and arrested Sanger. She spent 30 days in prison. But Sanger appealed the decision, and both won and lost. Though the court upheld Sanger's conviction, they also ruled that doctors could provide women with contraception. In 1923, Sanger opened the country's first legal birth control clinic. In 1939, the League merged with Sanger's Clinical Research Bureau to become the Birth Control Federation of America. 3 years later, the Birth Control Federation of America changed its name. The term birth control, which Sanger had coined 28 years earlier, was deemed too radical for the new conservative constituency. Sanger objected, strongly, but she was on the outside. In 1942, the group became the Planned Parenthood Federation of America.
NBC News fan. All right, so that's the history of Planned Parenthood.
See how East of the devil, because the way he's saying it is like she's against everybody. That's specifically designed for black people.
Yep, we finna get it.
He's trying to act like it's not for black people.
Yep,
that's what it was designed for.
We finna get it. So exactly what you said. So that's the white version. That's his story. Now we finna show you the real history and who she was about and what the purpose of it was. Go ahead, press play.
It says the organization must confront the background of founder Margaret Sanger and her ties to both white supremacy and eugenics in an opinion piece in the New York Times over the weekend. Alexis McGill Johnson said Sanger will remain influential in the organization, but added, quote, as we tell the history of Planned Parenthood's founding, we must fully take responsibility for the harm that Sanger caused to generations of people with disabilities and Black, Latino, Asian American, and Indigenous people.
Hold on.
Throw Asian American.
Right. But check this out. Why is it everything that's negative, we always see those same three bodies?
Yes.
The same three populations are always mentioned. Meanwhile, Jesus came for everybody. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. Every show we do, no matter what topic, birth control, prison rates, unequal education, alcoholism, medical care, mental health, you always gonna see Black, Latino, and Native Americans. Always
at the bottom of that.
Always. Why is that? But God is coming for everybody. Okay, press play.
Joining us now is Reverend Dean Nelson, Executive Director of Human Coalition Action. Reverend Nelson, welcome back. Great to see you. First off, what was your reaction when you read that article? What did you think? And its admission by the head of Planned Parenthood.
You know, on the one hand, I was shocked because for decades, many pro-life leaders have been decrying the eugenic practices of its founder, Margaret Sanger. But I was happy to see that they acknowledged the reality of what their history is. But at the same time, I know quite honestly that the real problem is you cannot acknowledge that history without also acknowledging the fact that Planned Parenthood strategically has placed 80% of their surgical abortion facilities in minority communities.
Oh, hold on, pause. 80% of the Planned Parenthood facilities are placed in abortion clinics.
Hey, go to First Ezra 5:73.
Bring it out.
I'm just going to read the top half.
Bring it out.
Because the context is talking about rebuilding the building, but just that first part, just that first half of that. First Ezra 5:73.
Bring it out.
the book of 1 Ezra, chapter 5, verse 73. And by their secret plots and popular persuasions and commotions, they hindered the finishing of the building.
So this is like Margaret Sanger, that's a secret plot and popular persuasion to murder our people. Point blank, but this right here is the proven facts of what Planned Parenthood was designed to do. Right. That was a secret plot against our people. We fell right into it, and we don't see it.
Yep. Hey, and obviously, you know how you know that's true? We just watched the whole video before. They ain't say nothing about this.
Nothing at all.
But it gets even deeper. Go ahead, press play.
Yeah, and I know that you've been quite vocal about Margaret Sanger, as you mentioned, many pro-life organizations as well. What role do you think that played, if any, in getting Planned Parenthood to come to grips, so to speak, with their founders' history? And why do you think they spoke up now?
You know, that's a great question. I do believe that the effort that we did last year with over 120 Black leaders signing on to a document calling for Planned Parenthood to deal with its racist past. I'm not certain why right now. I know that there's continued pressure within this, Black Lives Matter, moment in America. So I believe that there's a lot of pressure that they're receiving. But the reality is that Planned Parenthood, it should not continue to operate as they have. Their name suggests that they parent, but they don't empower women to parent. What they do is they sell abortions, and we want to help those around the country to know that there are better alternatives, like what we do at Human Coalition by providing free services to women who find themselves in this difficult situation.
And Reverend, for those who may not be all that familiar, can you talk a little bit more about Margaret Sanger?
Sure. Many people may not know, at the beginning of the 1900s, Margaret Sanger began to open up birth control facilities, particularly in New York City. As the organization would grow, it would become, the name of it would ultimately become Planned Parenthood. Some people are unaware that in 1939, she wrote a letter to Clarence Gamble of the Procter & Gamble fortune, stating that we don't want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. She would use a strategy.
Go back, play that part again.
Procter & Gamble fortune, stating that we don't want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population.
All right, they wanted to exterminate the Black population. Dang. And he ain't the only person that noticed. Go to the next video. So a lot of y'all, and guess who's behind it? Your friendly neighborhood white woman. Right. The same one pulling up in the minivan and all the kids going to the soccer game. They trying to exterminate your Black behind. Yep. Meanwhile, you got people trying to save these people off the face of the earth. Some of y'all dumb apologetics trying to save all nations while they literally trying to set up, not trying to, 19 million babies have been killed.
Right. They're prospering in that thing.
Stop being a damn fool. This goes directly to what Bishop Yawasat was saying yesterday. The war declared that is undeclared. They ain't signed no papers. They ain't said nothing. They just doing it. And you will never know. Behind the scenes, back at the ranch, they ain't got no ranch. They got nuclear missiles being shot at us. Yep. Go ahead.
We've told you about controversial billboards advertising meetings to discuss a plan set in motion 74 years ago to control the population of unwanted citizens, including African Americans.
Mark Holmberg went to one of the meetings in the East End tonight. Here's his report and commentary.
There can be little question that the Negro Project, started in 1939 by Margaret Sanger, changed the complexion of America.
The Negro Project, as it has been labeled, was a strategic effort of socioeconomic cleansing. Some have labeled it scientific racism. The attempt to wipe out minority pockets of peoples.
Despite the controversy stirred up by the Negro Project billboards, tonight's seminar at Mount Olivet Church about the push to slow reproduction of, quote, unfit members of society saw the pews only about half full.
I think the ultimate goal was to slow down and to retard the growth of blacks, the population of blacks in America.
Margaret Sanger, the godmother of Planned Parenthood, was the fearless voice for birth control, a woman who thought charity weakened society. She was an early champion of gay rights, of women's rights.
Pause. Uh-oh, y'all hear that word? Women's rights and gay rights. What does that mean? White supremacy and the elimination of black people. All of that ties in together. You be fooled if you want to. They can be a ex-man or ex-woman. They want your behind exterminated. Damn. Understand that. Go ahead.
Abstinence and chastity. She believed diseases, mental illness, and poverty could be eased by negative eugenics, trying to keep those inferiors from reproducing.
Early on, when it was, illegal, of course, for abortion, then the emphasis was to push strongly, contraception. But then beyond that, the push began to be sterilization.
It's a tough chapter of history where social engineers here and in Nazi Germany were joined by the science of eugenics. In essence, selectively breeding humans like we do farm animals and pets to get rid of the traits we don't want and promote the...
They said this is a tough time in history. They ain't gonna say nothing about during the slave trade. That's all they did. Y'all bred the biggest bucks with the biggest woman to create monster slaves. They don't say nothing about that.
You see him measuring that dude's nose, bro?
Right.
That's crazy.
Bruh, the white man is a mad scientist. Right. He is a mad scientist.
Hey, but it's no different from nowadays with the plague and the jab.
There you go.
They come out with it, we thinking like, oh, it's attacking them. Nah, it's a test run that gonna come after us.
There you go.
Amp that thing up.
Always. Go ahead.
The ones we do.
Certainly within the black community, I mean, it's easy to look at census data and know that we are no longer the largest minority group in this country. And people could argue that that's an issue of immigration, but I think part of that is that, there are, easily 17, million that are not here, and if those had children, how many more people would there be?
This tough history has a modern message in the politics of abortion and reproductive rights. Margaret Sanger is a fascinating character in American history.
Watch this.
She was very much against abortion and did a lot to promote health in the black community.
Y'all see how they pulled the Jedi mind trick?
What are you talking about, man?
Y'all, I'm telling y'all, this man is wicked as hell, man. That's why it says he's the border of wickedness. Right. He's the start and end of all wickedness. We just watched about 20 minutes worth of videos showing you that she's the godmother of abortion.
Right. She was against it.
She was against it.
Bruh.
What the? Man, you can't make this stuff up. Press play.
Community. Both her and her Negro project are a little too complicated to boil down to a 2-minute news broadcast.
INW.
That's a setup, bro.
Y'all see that? They say it's too complicated to put it into 2 minutes. So don't really believe anything that we just said. Right. That was just put out there, just to put it out there. Hey, but I want to show y'all something before we get off. The name of the show today was "Kill Them Before They Grow." We weren't able to go in detail. We still got about 10 minutes, but I want to show y'all the same things they're doing today. They did way back when. Yep. They had the same mindset. Give me Exodus 1, and let's start at verse 10. Start at verse 9.
The book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 9.
Bring it out.
And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
So they understood that they was getting bigger than them. Right. I don't know the population. I don't know the census back in the 40s and 30s. I don't know what it was. But I would imagine it was a world war going on. You got these black people here. That's all here that's fed up. They going to civil rights. Right. They going through Jim Crow, black codes. Like, hey, we got to do something with these people. Something ain't right. What if they join with China? What if they join with Germany?
Remember, we was getting it financially because they said 1930s. Tulsa was about 9 years right before it, so we was getting it.
You know what? That's a heavy point. That part had a lot of influence. They're like, hey, look, if these people on their own, they gonna be richer than us. They ain't gonna need us. They gonna take over America.
Right.
Planned Parenthood. I got it. Go ahead.
Verse 10. Come on, let us deal wisely with them. Lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
So it ain't no question of if this happened or no. We are the same people. We are living this world all over again.
Right.
So they had the same mindset. Unlike us, they read the Bible and they think the same way. They're like, hey, look, he might join with our enemies and come against us. Right. That's why they were so scared of Martin Luther King. What they labeled him, a Soviet, right? They said he was a Soviet. No, what's the word? Communist.
Yeah.
They always labeled all black people as communists. Like, no, they gonna join with the other nations and this and that. They are scared as hell of us leaving here. That's why it says they hold on to them fast. Right. Jump to verse 12.
Verse 12. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
And they were what?
And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
Read.
And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor.
So they made them work. How did they do that in America? They gave us minimum wage jobs. They said, hey, let's integrate. Y'all doing too good on your own. Everybody got their own business. Integrate. I give you a job at McDonald's for $5 an hour. And then maybe one day you can afford a house in a white neighborhood. Meanwhile, we had affluent black neighborhoods all over the place, but that wasn't good enough.
Yep, own businesses, everything.
We gave that all up so we can follow the white man. That's how they dealt wisely with us. Jump down to verse 16.
Verse 16. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew
midwife
woman,
deliver babies. Read.
To the Hebrew women, and seed them up upon the stools. If it be a son, then ye shall kill him.
If you see a son, you kill it. Read.
But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared God and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children of lives.
So what was one of their plans to deal wisely with us? They attacked the babies. Right. They attacked the babies from the time they were born. They didn't wait. They wanted them babies dead. So now what did they do? They upgraded that. They say, you know what? We ain't got to wait till they 2 and under like Herod did. Right. We ain't got to wait till they even born. Right. Now we can kill them while they in the doggone belly. Go ahead.
Hey, it's crazy is they put us in an impoverished situation in Exodus, the same like in the communities now, then drop Planned Parenthood.
There you go. Yeah. Same exact thing. While we was in Goshen, they was over there. Right. Now we in America, we in the ghettos, they in there. It's the same story. Right. Same story. But guess what? The part today we ain't gonna get to today, the Most High came on through there. Right. He came on through and he gonna do the same thing this time.
That's right.
Now, we were going into right now, how they were scared. They were scared of a Messiah coming. Right. That's why they were murdering all the babies. They say, you see a man-child? Yeah. Don't let that man-child come. That's why they say what? They want the black men to be what? Hey, go be gay. Yep. You can be gay. Right. You can be a homosexual. You can be like Vic Rames and put on a dress and a skirt. You can be Big Mama's house. You can be Medea. We don't care. You can be whatever you want. Right. Follow your heart. Follow your dreams. Don't let nobody tell you got to be a masculine man. Daddy, go look at what's the Jenner dude name?
Oh,
Jenner?
Bruce.
Look at Bruce Jenner. You can be Bruce Jenner if you want to.
Damn, man.
Hey, pull up the article, y'all. Pull up the Cointelpro article. I'll show y'all this. Read that for me. FBI goals, and then we're gonna go to the goals.
It says FBI sets goals for Cointelpro.
For Cointelpro, scroll down. We're gonna read what these goals are. All right, read that.
Goals. Number 1. Prevent the coalition of militant black nationalist groups.
So the number 1 goal of Cointelpro was to prevent black unity. Let's see what number 2 was.
Prevent the rise of a Messiah who could unify and electrify the militant black national movement. Malcolm X might have been such a Messiah. He is the martyr of the movement today.
So they understood. The white man sat there and plotted, how can we prevent these people from coming together?
Right.
Meanwhile, ain't America built on the joining together of all nations in color and creed, that we are all one nation under God? I thought that's what America was built on.
Right.
Ain't this the great melting pot? I said this one time in the group. If America is the great melting pot, then the black people always get burned at the bottom.
Damn.
That's the only pot we in, because I ain't never seen nothing come good out of the pot for us.
Oh, man.
That's who we are.
That's heavy.
Because we're reading about the goals of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They're supposed to be investigating crime, criminals, drug dealers, murderers, drug cartels, illegal monopolies, drug trafficking, whoremongering, prostitution. Nah, they ain't worrying about that. They worrying about black people coming together.
Exterminating.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, God loves everybody. Y'all apologetics are pathetic, man. Y'all retarded. Y'all don't know history. The Jude 3 project is a hoax. That's the biggest hoax on the face of the earth. Tell them to explain to us why we have government documents outlining how to prevent black people from coming together.
Jesus wept.
Hey, man, it's 7:46. Deacon Malachi coming on for the day of Simon. We ain't gonna finish this topic next week. I'm gonna do something different.
That was a quick hitter, though. That was a good quick hitter.
Yeah, good quick class. Hey, but shout out to all the camps, everybody that went out and blitzed the Christian churches today.
Right.
Hey, brothers got it in. Hey, man,
they took the L today, man. Now, that dude shamed his church today, man. They was embarrassing him, bro. It was hilarious.
Yeah, man. These churches are a joke. These churches are a joke. If you in there or your family members in there, tell them to run ASAP. Get out. Get out today because they ain't teaching you no truth. And if you celebrated Mother's Day today, show me what scripture. Where did Jesus tell you to celebrate Mother's Day? Huh? And if you don't know, that's fine. Call your pastor. Tell him to tell you. And don't give him no roundabout scripture. I need a verse. Hold up. I need a verse that says celebrate Mother's Day the second Sunday in May. That's what I need. Because guess what? I can find that for Passover.
That's right.
I can find it for the Feast of Tabernacles. What? I can find it for the Sabbath day. What? Why y'all ain't keeping those? What? Go ahead.
Hey, pastor gonna be like, who you been talking to?
Yeah, if your pastor asks who you talking to, something wrong with you. Hey, man, so we'll give a shout out to the IT team. Shout out to the security. Shout out to the viewers. All praise to the Most High. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channels, IUIC Orlando and IUIC Orlando in the Classroom, go and subscribe. Subscribe right now. All right, so we'll see y'all next week at 7 p.m. on Sunday afternoon on Saturday or Sundays. With that,
Sunday's got a long lineup. I can't name them all, but you can occupy yourself with music, definitely the word, and a lot of information, especially what's going on the earth right now. So the lineup begins tomorrow morning with Patient Saints, and it'll carry it right on to the last show, which is Wisdom Crieth Out outside of Austin.
Wake up to the Patient Saints, go ahead and grab your coffee. This truth is spreading across the globe. Our hidden history's alive with Deacon, take us through them times. Painted black faces right now, you know this not Jesus Christ. Raving the wolves, we prophesying in the fire booth. Bringing more fire, word to Deacon Malachi. You the ending in the Lionz den. We got the current events, Wisdom crying out at 9 o'clock. Come listen, we gon' set it off on Sundays.